All right, let's start with some breaking inputs which have just come in, where India's economy is one of the fastest growing in the world. It's a developing country and also an aspiring middle class. That does not, however, mean that many Indians can afford a night's stay at a luxury hotel. And that also does not mean that the Indian lawmakers are poor. In fact, in the Indian state of Karnataka, the Congress and JDS lawmakers are in fact camping in five-star hotels and luxury resorts. And that's because the two parties fear poaching by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, JDS and the Congress are all set to form the government this week. They feel that their lawmakers are safe in the five-star hotels. And what's more, the lawmakers that we are getting information are getting restless by the day. They reportedly are homesick, despite the fact that they are confined in luxurious suites and hotel rooms. After all, the big question, of course, is where is the money coming from? All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Nishtita Virendra, who joins us from Bengaluru. Good afternoon to you, Nishtita. Now, we are given to understand that on Wednesday, H.D. Kumaraswamy will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. But ahead of that, are the MLAs still staying put in these five-star hotels and resorts?
That's right. The MLAs of both JDS and Congress, who are not from the city of Bengaluru but are from outside and were brought in from the resort in Hyderabad, are still staying put in five-star hotels in the city until the floor test is complete. If reports are anything to go by, then the floor test will be conducted a day after Kumaraswamy swears in as the Chief Minister, which will be on Thursday, after which all these MLAs will return to their homes. It seems like despite the outcome on Saturday, where Yediyurappa was forced to step down even before the floor test, knowing full well that he will not be clearing the floor test, the Congress and JDS are still not confident and feel that there might be poaching that might take place, which could plunge the entire state administration into paralysis. And that is the reason why the Congress and JDS are holding on to their MLA site. Now, the Congress MLAs are at the Hilton Hotel, which is a five-star hotel in the city of Bengaluru. It is located inside the Embassy Golf Links. And as we know, Embassy has a connection to the former Bangalore Development Minister, Mr. KJ George, and the Congress claims that it is KJ George who is at the moment handling the occupancy of these MLAs at the Hilton Hotel. And then you have the JDS MLAs who are stationed at another five-star hotel, the Goldshaw Hotel in the city.
Absolutely indeed, Nishtita. Do continue to stay on with us. Meanwhile, our political affairs editor Kartikeya Sharma also joins us from the newsroom. Good afternoon to you, Kartikeya. Now, the question, of course, which a lot of perhaps the BJP legislators would be asking is, these MLAs who are presently in Bangalore, why should they be stationed in these five-star hotels? And where is the money coming from to foot the bills for their stay at these five-star hotels?
I think it's very ironical that the dance of democracy has taken such an ugly turn that the ruling dispensation, Bharatiya Janata Party, was trying to openly poach MLAs, trying to tell them that you'll get ministers. 3 sting videos were there in public domain. And then you have the party which now will be in power, Congress and JDS. They put all their 100+ MLAs in a five-star hotel, and they will not be allowed to move outside the perimeter of the hotel till the vote of confidence takes place. So which means that in political parties, it is so easy to break MLAs, the legislators, if you have the money and the capacity to purchase them. So, it just tells you that there is no sense of ideology or there is no sense of loyalty to the party. Right. It only boils down to money. And it tells us that we have not reformed our electoral system. And our democracy, in turn, becomes a electoral democracy. Democracy does not start and end at elections. Right. Democracy starts at election, but it has to evolve into other dimensions also, which in India, unfortunately, it has not.
Absolutely. That just shows the hunger for power by fair or foul means which our politicians would like to get hold of. And Nishtita, if I could come to you on this, the fact of the matter is Yediyurappa resigned on the floor of the House when he knew that he would not be able to go on and establish the majority that he earlier had claimed that he had. Now, ahead of the swearing in, post the JDS Congress, the parties are sworn in. Once this happens, is there still a possibility that some of the MLAs could abstain? Could the Congress, JDS combined, could they lose confidence on the floor of the House? Is this a real threat which the Congress and the JDS leaders are in fact looking at?
Well, certainly there is a certain amount of fear within the Congress and JDS combined that still MLAs might deflect, and that could be a huge loss of face. Let's not forget that it was rather anticlimactic for the BJP, which claimed that it had the support of close to 120 MLAs. And the general sense here is that the BJP will not keep quiet despite being the largest party. It was not allowed to form government only because the foes of JDS and Congress turned friends soon after the results threw up a fractured mandate. Hence, the sense among the Congress and JDS is that the BJP might still try to convince the MLAs to abstain from voting, especially if there are any MLAs who are not very convinced with the effectiveness of this coalition government. Let's not forget that it was a rather bitter-fought battle between the Congress and the JDS in the run-up to the elections. Both of them were fighting it out fairly bitterly, especially in the old Mysuru region, and some rather toxic statements were exchanged between them. So having a post-poll alliance, they have faced criticism as well, and questions have been raised on the stability of this post-poll alliance. Although H.D. Kumaraswamy says that both the parties have learnt from their mistakes of 2006, where their coalition didn't really work out. And Kumaraswamy is said to have gone as far as to tell the party workers, the JDS workers, that this is a matter of survival for the party. It is not just about being in power, but it is a matter of survival for the JDS, and they need to be a little more disciplined. They need to accept the decisions taken as far as the cabinet sharing is also concerned. So yes, it is a very tricky time. The test has only begun for Congress and JDS, and they would not want to fail in the floor test for sure, and hence they're keeping their flock together until the floor test is over.
Absolutely indeed, Nishita. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and thanks also to Kartikeya Sharma as well for joining us from the newsroom and getting us those insights. So it is not over yet in absolute terms. Yediyurappa may have resigned, but still the Congress JDS combined, which have now staked claim to form to be sworn in as the next rulers in the state of Karnataka, they still have a big challenge ahead.